It's not hard to tell if you're on LinkedIn every day that there are many, many people trying to work out how they can promote their business in a market that a lot of commentators are saying, social media. They're stating that social media is saturated. But in this video, I'm going to show you how a simple video interview watched by 70 people, yes, that's right, 70 people, led to a long-term business for my guest. Now, the last time we were together, I did an interview, and you can refer to, I'll put the link in the description. We actually did an interview because Graham is a leading recruitment expert, and I invited him onto my program to talk about how to hire somebody in 2021. Let's just take a quick look at that interview that was done late last year. So Graham, take us back to the beginning, because I was reading your CV. At one stage, you were a vice president of Chase Manhattan Bank in New York. Doesn't get much bigger than that. You had a very successful recruiting company based in the heart of Sydney CBD for many, many years called Boydens. But now you specialise, and unlike many other recruitment companies, they actually get to deal with you instead of a junior. Take us back to the start of your career. So as you can see, that was an interview we did late December last year. And if you look on the screen and go, you can refer to that. I'll put the link in the description below. That video resulted in over 70 people watching. But 70 doesn't sound like a lot, but if you know how to do LinkedIn video properly, it can actually result in quite a bit of work. Tell me, that video was out in the market on LinkedIn for 2 weeks, 70 something people watched it, and then you got a phone call. Graham, tell us more.
So the phone call was from a successful businessman, Australian businessman, who had built quite a serious enterprise. But his one failing, he said, I'm not good at recruiting and I really need some help. And I'm not sure that I can afford you, but I've seen your video. So we had a chat, and within a few minutes we established that, yes, I could help him. So it's led to initially some consulting work, and it's very likely, as we build a relationship of mutual trust, that it's going to lead to more.
Now, looking back now, I mean, only 70 something people have watched the video. At the time when I asked you to do the interview with me, did you think it would actually lead to work?
I didn't put any particular weight on it because I thought it'd be nice if it happens, but I was just intrigued to see what penetration there might be, because I knew the work you'd done in the background, the key search engine optimization, doing keyword research to figure out how you'd position such a video, and I was most intrigued to see how people would respond. And I think 70 is quite a significant hit as people take the trouble to sit through the video, but only one. It really resonated with this one guy, because he thought, he later said to me, I said, what did you notice on the video? And he said, well, I felt A, you knew what you were talking about, and B, I felt I could trust you.
Yeah, so the interview approach, because I mean, when most people do video, they talk to the camera and they tell you all they know and how wonderful they are. But the reason why I'm doing this interview approach is that I have a lot of clients who would love to appear on camera, would love to promote themselves, but they don't have a broadcast background. And standing in front of a camera is very scary. Did you find that the interview approach I took with you, did it help you to open up and share, your expertise?
I think so. Oh, well, not I think so. Absolutely, because you have a very easy conversational style. You're an Australian version of Michael Parkinson. You do it you converse with me in a way that allows me to address the key issues very easily, and you go after the examples, which I think opens up the topic and makes it much more interesting for the viewer.
Yeah, I remember in the preparation, and you set me, was asked you, and I said, look, the whole purpose of the video is to help Graham promote his business. Now, there's two ways of doing this. We could have done a corporate piece where he speaks to camera and talks about his track record, all the awards and stuff like that. But that's just bragging. I think it's far more powerful, especially if you're doing video on LinkedIn or YouTube, to actually share examples of how you've helped people be successful. And so when you first sent me your notes, you very much came from, this is what I do and these are my techniques. And I immediately
Yeah,
said, no, well, Graham, I don't think people are actually interested in recruiting. I think they're interested in finding a really good employee. And I think
yeah,
in the case of the gentleman that telephoned you, he had tried recruitment firms in the past, but it hadn't really worked. And so I think
correct.
those stories that we brought out in that interview, um,
Yeah,
and it wasn't you bragging. It was basically me asking a question. Look, Graham, how do I do this? Where do I go? And you said in those, and you can watch the interview, as I said, you said in the interview, well, look, Ken, if you're in this situation, it reminds me of when I worked with so-and-so. And what we
yeah.
did was X, and we got a great result. And I think that approach, would I be correct in saying, there's the saying in marketing is there's the know, like, and trust factor. People get to know you,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
like what they're experiencing, and they get to trust
yeah.
you. And I think that's the impression that gentleman got in that interview.
And that's what he tells me, yes. And I'm really pleased because that's what we were hoping to achieve and what I hope to achieve with all my clients. Because if we don't have trust and serious investment of me in their business and what they're trying to achieve with the appointment, it's not going to work.
And I suppose the best thing about this is putting that video up on LinkedIn, which reached those 70 people, which led to this ongoing work for you.
Hmm.
What was the investment on LinkedIn?
About an hour of our time.
Yeah, I mean, no advertising fees, no nothing.
Hmm.
But it's given you a credibility. And I mean, that's why I've taken this approach.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make it a lot easier for people to use video. So instead of being something that they're not, would I be
yeah.
correct in saying that the approach made it more comfortable for you to get your message out there?
Much more comfortable. And the fact that you were guiding me on what would resonate rather than my uh, 30 years of corporate speak. So I'm not used to promoting myself in this way, but I'm delighted to discover a new tool which clearly has quite significant potential.
Yes, so there we have it. Only 70 people have viewed the video so far, but that's not the end, is it? I mean, the video's still out there. We've got
No,
it up on YouTube.
yeah,
We're placing it up on Graham's website. So
mm,
it's a corporate interview. Because, I mean, go back to the days when we first started our career, Graham. I mean, to get an interview of the style that we did, you would have had to have connections in television to be interviewed by Four Corners or something like that. Whereas
yes.
with some very simple technology and an interview approach, we've been able to reach 70 people that have led to long-term work. Well, Graham Rogers, thank you so much for your time, and I'm looking forward to hearing more. And the good thing also, I think, is it's given you the confidence to start doing your own videos.
Well, we may well do that because you've now excited the opportunity in me that I should look at some of these other elements that challenge people in recruitment. And it's a fascinating truism that most people think recruiting should be straightforward and easy, and yet if they don't have the tools and techniques, then most of them are going to find it somewhat difficult.
And so I'd be correct in saying an environment like this, an interview environment like this, enables you to cover a lot of the questions people are having. And I suppose that's the reason why this gentleman telephoned, isn't it? I mean,
Yes,
all of a sudden his questions were being answered, and they just weren't statements like you should do this or you should do that. They were real
no,
stories of real people being successful. So there we have it. If you'd like to get an interview done and you're considering LinkedIn, my details are below and I'd love to chat with you. And Graham, congratulations. 70 people have watched it. It's led to a very good chunk of work, and I hope that you get more out of it. I'm Ken
indeed.
Robinson. Until next time, bye for now.